We've only got one body. This is our vessel that gets us through the world. You've got to give it the nutrients it needs. And if you don't, then you're just disrespecting your life. Like, just disrespect, I think, to yourself and just to the gift that you were given when, you are alive, which is, as a species and as a planet, it was such a tiny amount of luck that created that we are here at the moment doing this. You've got to look after it. This is the only body you've got. And if you're not giving it nutrients, it's not about calorie restriction or anything like that. It's about nutrients. If you're not giving yourself the nutrients you need to go through life, just think more of yourself.
Welcome to Plant Fueled. I'm Callum Weir, your host, and this is the place where big conversations happen, myths get shattered, and perspectives shift. You already know this podcast is about more than just nutrition or lifestyle. It's about creating impact. And today, we're bringing back somebody who has done exactly that in a way nobody could have predicted. Susan Joyce is back for the third time. Why? Because you asked for it. There's something about Sue, the way she speaks, the passion she carries, and the stories she tells that just hits differently. Some of you discovered her through this very podcast, some through her sanctuary, and some of you, well, whether you admit it or not, now look at Pigeons a little differently because of her. But this time the story has changed. The sanctuary has closed its doors, the chapter has ended, but Sue, she's just getting started. From new missions, Pigeon Conferences, filling her time with new ventures and finding fresh ways to fight for the cause. She's proving that when one door closes, another opens. And speaking of doors opening, she's also the new host of Bloody Vegans podcast, stepping into a whole new platform to make her impact even bigger. So today, we get into all of it, the past, the present, the future, and the pigeons, of course. The lessons, the challenges, and the road ahead. You wanted more Susan Joyce? You got her. Let's get into it. Before we dive in, I do have one small favour to ask. Just one, and I promise I won't ask again. If you're enjoying these conversations, if they've made you think, laugh, or see things differently, take a second. Hit that follow, subscribe, or leave a rating, whatever the platform you use allows you to do. It's quick, it's free, and it makes a bigger impact than you think. Not only does it help this podcast grow, but it helps more people find these conversations, people who might really need it. It allows me to bring the guests you want, the topics you've been asking for, and that all happens because of you. So if you've ever taken something valuable from this podcast, consider this your way of giving back. Just a small tap and you've done your part. Thank you. Now let's get into it. These are plants.
You weren't supposed to be part of this interview, Noggy. Yes, I'm always part of it. What a twit. He's happy.
So, welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. I'm so excited.
I feel like every time we ever chat, you've got another animal in your hands or on your lap. And this time, Noggy Dog.
Noggy Dog! Say hi, Nog. Well, Noggy Dog was downstairs. I've got my amazing best mate, Jen, Vegan Queen V, stopping with me at the moment. So I've got 4 dogs in the house. And Noggy Dog was happily curled up downstairs, weren't you? But he's obviously decided he heard me talking in here and he's barged through the office door. So yeah. Last time it was a blackbird. And I think the time before that it was probably a pigeon. It's normally pigeons. But not anymore.
I think it's gone pigeon, blackbird, dog. So we're moving from animal to animal. It's now lost its wings and grown. I was about to say it's lost its wings and grown legs, but Noggy only has 3.
Yeah, he's lost a leg. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh no. Hopefully he'll just sit there. Hopefully. We'll give it a try.
Did you find Noggy with 3 legs, or was that just like something that happened?
I was working in a veterinary practice in Wolverhampton, and I was the coordinator between the local dog's home and the surgical team. I used to coordinate the surgical team. It was a big hospital practice, and it was my day off, but I booked him in to have his leg off, not knowing like who or what he was. He'd been found roaming around the streets in Birmingham, just with his leg missing. With his foot missing, his leg was still there. Apparently the dog warden, when he picked him up, he was just going from person to person going, hiya, just with this bit of stump flailing around. Because he is the friendliest dog you've ever met. He's absolutely ridiculous. Aren't you? You are ridiculous, doggy. So they booked him in, and I was working. I was off work, and they phoned me, the surgical team phoned me and said, this dog you've booked in, you need to come and meet him. And I was like, no, okay, why do I need to? It's my day off. And they're like, yeah, just come down the road and have a look. We need you to meet him. And obviously, you're mates with your workmates, aren't you? So Stacey, one of the vets, was like, you need to see this. He's just coming round from his anaesthetic. And he was still he'd had a spine blocker to take the leg off. And he was coming round and he was just sort of like, hello. And he was still, his tail wags constantly when people talk to him. So he was still wagging his tail like, you need this dog. You love English bulls. You need this dog. I don't need another rescue dog. Come on, I'd already got one. I was like, I don't need another dog. And then I went and met him and I was just like, oh my goodness, he's the best. So, yeah, we could have rehomed him about 1,000 times. Everybody I meet just says, oh, is he a stray? Is he a stray? He's a rescue. When I say he's a rescue dog, they go, oh, does he need a home? I'm like, no. Although sometimes I'm like, yes, take him. But he's fab. And the shop that I run in Aberystwyth, when I walk from the shop to the car, I have to allow, it's a 5-minute walk. I have to allow 20 minutes because he stops and says hello to every single person all the way home. Because it's touristy, they all stop and they all fuss him. And if they don't fuss him, he rolls on his back and shows everyone his stump. And then they go, oh, he's only got 3 legs. And he's like, I've got you now, sucker. And they just, yeah. So he's going to sleep now. He's a little bit, he's fit, right? He's 14 now, this old boy. 14! Look at him, he looks great. He looks like a pup. And that's Noochie Poochie, vegan dog food for you. It's looking fabulous. And so there you go.
He is adorable. And I remember when I came to yours, he just kind of, when I didn't give him attention, just kind of sat on my foot until and just looked at me until I gave him the attention he needed.
And he howls as well. He goes, whoa, if he's not getting a fuss. Don't you, little trump? But yeah, it's a horror. His tail's going now. Can't see it, but his tail's wagging like mad because he can see you. And because we're talking about you, aren't you? Anyway, there you go. He's like a smelly old carpet these days, bless him. But all right. Anyway, he wants to be part of the interview. But I think he's on his last tour of life now, so he may as well be on an interview. So
yeah. The title will be Sue and Noggy Dog.
Noggy Dog. Yeah. He's bird.
But so what's been happening? You've been asked to, there has been quite a few people that have enjoyed your last 2 episodes that wanted you to come back. So here you are. But things have changed. Things aren't exactly the same as it was. What? When did you come on last time? October time?
Yeah.
What's that?
I think.
Yeah. Things. Yeah. Oh, it's just after you took in King Charles's pigeon.
Oh, King Charles, yes. We took them in last summer. And then, so much has changed since then. So much has changed. So the main thing that's changed is I no longer have a sanctuary, which I think last time we spoke, did I know that? I don't think I knew that was happening. I possibly did. We did some work with people for the ethical treatment of animals. And we had some of King Charles's pigeons to bring attention to the fact that pigeon racing is barbaric. And I am coming for you, pigeon racers. Hideous people. And King Charles was, by default, because his mum died, and she was patron of the Pigeon Racing Association. So when she died, he naturally became the patron. And Peter and I asked him to step away from the Pigeon Racing Association, and he did. It was a great campaign. We got real good success with it. So we had 3 pigeons. They were from a charity auction. The money for the pigeons went to charity, did not go to the Racing Association. That was really important to Peter and to me. We had those pigeons, and it just drew attention to it, basically. So we got in the paper and that kind of thing, which is what we need. And on the back of that, what came about was people getting in touch and saying, why is it bad? I don't understand. Why are you making such a fuss? Why is it bad? So it's led to me going around doing lots of talks about why we need to love pigeons and why pigeon racing is so bad. So then, in the summer last year, every sanctuary, every bird in the pigeon sanctuary that I know got an adenovirus, a type of virus that was affecting pigeons. And everybody that I know lost birds. It was really sad, really sad. We lost 35 birds in our flock. We had a big flock. We lost 35 birds, and it was 2 weeks of my life that I think I aged about 10 years. It was horrendous. It was devastating for me and for Matt and for everyone involved with our sanctuary, really, because all the birds were ill. There wasn't a single bird in our flock of hundreds of birds that wasn't ill. They were all ill. They all needed veterinary attention round the clock. And yeah, it was horrific. But we got over it, and everything was fine. And the rest of the birds that we had, were doing really, really well. And then we kind of were looking at the setup that we got. Now, we were on land with another sanctuary, with another vegan sanctuary, and we looked at the setup that we've got, and we were like, right, the amount of rain we're having now, and this is what people are attributing that virus to. There was a high amount of tapeworm last year. I think he wants to go down. Sorry. Look. Good boy. There was a high amount of tapeworm, which is not normally very prevalent in pigeons. We don't normally see tapeworm in this country anyway. And that was really, really high, which is, unusual. And on top of that, then we got this virus going around. That was all happening. So the amount of rain, it's been the warmer climate, basically, and the rain is what I think is driving this. And this is what tapeworm are doing really, really well, whereas they never used to be able to survive. But now, because of the climate here, and not just in Wales, but in England and throughout the UK, I think that's why we're seeing these viruses coming forward. So we looked at the setup we got, and we were like, right, we need to make changes here. We need better drainage. We need different sorts of sheds. We need, for the pigeons to be in so we can medicate them more easily. So yeah, we had a look at all of that. But that obviously all comes down, there's a cost that comes down to money. So Peter were amazing. They got in touch with me after they'd seen what had gone on after working with them and offered us a lot of money. It was a serious amount to redo the whole sanctuary. We were like, this is amazing. And I went to the people who owned the land and they said no to the building work, which was a real shame because it wasn't massive work. But, that's always the risk when you're on somebody else's land. And it wasn't enough money because a few people have said, well, if you've got money for Peter, why didn't you just get more land and do this? And to be honest, after moving 4 times in 2 years, us and the birds, and after losing all my money to this, which I would do again in a heartbeat, it was the right thing to do for those birds. You have to look at what you've got, what you've achieved and what you can do and kind of take stock and think, right, it's not fair on these birds. This country, Wales in particular, talking to people that have lived here all their lives, they're like, Wales is a wet country, but it's never as wet as it is now. Like, they never used to have constant rain out here like they do at the moment, and have done for the last year and a half. So, and they're just, we're all you're either in a hill or a valley when you live where I do. I'm in Pembrokeshire. So, you're either right at the top or right at the bottom. And either way, even the tops of the hills now are getting completely sodden. It's just, you can't do stuff out here. There's so many sanctuaries out here, they're really struggling. So we made a decision that actually it wouldn't have been the right thing to do. So the right thing to do was to rehome the birds. And that came with a plan that I would then step forward more as a kind of a voice for pigeons and for fundraising. So that's what's happened. So, and that was in October. So really sad on a personal level, really sad to not see the birds every day and not be doing that. But they've gone to Farm Animal Rescue Sanctuary in Evesham. They've gone to Wolverley. They've gone to Duckingham Palace in the Midlands, and some went to the Orangery Retirement Home for Pigeons. It's a good name, isn't it? And
It's such a good name.
It's such a good name, Duckingham Palace. And she hasn't just got ducks, that's how it started. Lise is one of my best mates. She's amazing out there. The work that she's done in the last 3 years, she's absolutely incredible. She's mental. She's absolutely mental, but she's amazing. And so for her to have the birds out there has been incredible. So we had a bit of money that we managed to raise, and then our vet, who's worked for us for free for the last 2.5 years since we've been out here, who's incredible, gave us £5,000, just, no questions asked, to buy some more aviaries to move, because the logistics of moving that many birds, it's a nightmare. And to move them back to England, it was an absolute nightmare. So we had to buy aviaries in England to move the birds into, so that we could then break down the aviaries here and move them. So what's been brilliant is the birds are all happy. They've all gone to different places, and we now pay for those birds at their places. And the idea also, and I'll talk about this in a minute, but the idea of it is that we will lifelong now support those birds, of course, but we will also continue to support those sanctuaries in other ways as well, financially and in other ways. But it also meant that those sanctuaries also got, and some other sanctuaries got some aviaries that they couldn't afford. So that was brilliant. So it's been really lovely that the birds are happy. They're still being paid for. The aviaries have all gone to people that needed them. And now I feel like the last few years has been really hard, but now actually is when the work starts. It's going to be hard. The next couple of years are going to be really hard, but it's just ignited a fire that I didn't know I got, really, for going out and talking about them and, championing the underdog, basically. So that's what's changed, everything. But I'm still a dickhead, so that's
yeah.
That never changed.
But there's always something going on with you as well. If it's not a controversial article going around about you, or something that you've done, or you getting the king's pigeons, something else had to happen to you if it wasn't being homeless again. And this time it's you've got rid of all the pigeons.
Yeah.
But does it feel a bit more of a, because you've had the pigeons for so long, is it a bit of a relief though that you can kind of have your life back?
Yeah. Yes and no. It's a relief, but only because I worried about them all the time where they were. And there is definitely, when I drove back that last time from England, when I drove back with an empty van, I felt myself as I was driving back. It helps because I'm driving back to Pembrokeshire, which is the most beautiful place it's beautiful here. So it helps. So you're driving back and you're leaving all that English crap behind. Sorry, England, but it's gorgeous out here. I'm so lucky that the pigeons brought me out here. So I'm leaving all that behind and driving back to the hills and thinking this is amazing. And then it was that sadness. I was like, what do I do tomorrow? There's no birds here. So I've still got my community interest company. I've still got my shop, but there's no birds. What do I do? But then I just felt my body just sort of go like a complete physical release of I don't have that worry. So I still have the worry about them, because they're not in front of me. So now I'm still in touch with the other sanctuaries pretty much on a daily basis with Ducking and Palace. Because she's my mate as well, that's the reason. But to sort of chat and see how the birds are and that kind of thing. But so I've still got that stress, but it does feel more manageable now. That the birds aren't here and that they're in a really good setup and that, everything's fine. But I think what it does as well is I thought, that's 5 hours a day I'm going to get back. 5 hours of my time not looking after birds in the sanctuary. I was like, I can do so much. And what's actually happened is that's already been filled, because so many people have come and said, right, now you've got time. Can you jump on this project? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then obviously I've got things that I wanted to do as well. I've got some really exciting things coming up. So that's filling that. Plus, obviously, I still run the CIC. We still need to fundraise, and we've got different things going on there. And I'm still in the shop most days. So I've just filled that time already. And I was like, yeah, great. I'm going to.
I feel like you're that person that can't be not doing anything, though. That's the thing.
Totally.
I know you're just so energized constantly that I feel like if you had a spare hour, it's going to be filled with something.
Yeah.
But when your first day without pigeons, though, did you at least have a lay-in?
Pigeons are really lazy. I don't even want to ask them. That hasn't checked. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were up at 4 in the morning. For some reason, I have no idea why.
I'd be a mess. I need my sleep. No way. That's why I looked after pigeons. If you're looking after blue tits and I used to, I suppose, when I used to look after the garden birds, then that'll be where you've got that from, because that's true. When I was a lot younger, I used to look after garden birds. So, and that stopped about 5 or 6 years ago. And I used to have the odd one. But when you've got a room full of baby garden birds, they start cheeping at 4 in the morning as soon as the sun's up. Yeah, so then I would be up maybe 6. They had to wait for me. I'm no way am I getting up at 5. They'll be all right. They'll be fine. You just feed them till slightly later. And I used to be more of a night owl, and now I'm 50. I'm just more of a. I'm asleep by 10, and I don't get up till 7.
I feel that I have become a night owl as well, where I'm very much I'm in bed for like 9:30, 10. Like, I don't know if that, like, I'm only 32. Like, it's become my new norm.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, yeah. Maybe you're going through the menopause as well, Callum. Maybe.
Could be that. It could be that. I'm going through the menopause.
Menopause at 32. Brilliant, yeah. No, I haven't got any more time because I've just filled it. You're right, I've just filled it with loads of other shit instead. But brilliant shit! Not pigeon shit, but all pigeon shit. It's great.
Finally not covered in pigeon shit. You are full of actual shit.
Yeah. It's weird. We're doing a lot less washing. It's really exciting. And, as you know, because you were my first guest, I've started Jim Moore, who's a fucking legend of a man, who I've followed his podcast for years, Bloody Vegas podcast, and I love it. And he had me on in July as a guest. And at the end of the interview, he just said, I've got something to ask you, and I don't know how you feel about it. And I was like, oh, go on then. And he said, how would you feel about hosting? And I was like, I think I just went on this. Like, me? Are you mad? And he's like, yeah, I think so. So that's been really exciting. So I started recording in October, I think. December. I started because I think I interviewed you in December, didn't I? It was meant to start.
I flew back to England when you interviewed me, and I was so jet lagged.
You were jet lagged. Yeah. It was good. That was a good interview. It was still really good.
It was good. I listened to it the other day. So I thought that I was incoherent the whole entire time until I listened to it back and realized I was coherent and I was answering things. I was just a bit slower than usual. But I listened to it back and I was like, oh, that actually came out really well, because in my head I was like, that was probably one of the worst things I've ever done. And then I listened to it back, I was like, it sounded fine. It sounded great.
Yeah, it sent me a message a lot. I think we need to re-record that. And I was like, no, it was great. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Yay!
What?
Thanks for being my first guest. It was great.
I loved it. But yeah, do you know why Jim was just like, Sue is the lady for this?
I say no idea. Obviously, we've had conversations. And I think he is so busy. He's just launched The Cat's Out the Bag. I can say it now. I was about to say The Cat's Out the Bag. That's not very vegan, is it? All the cats should be out of all the bags. Don't put cats in bags. Yeah, anyway, it's public now, so I can say it. He's just set up, I can't remember the name of it, a studio in the south of England. My geography's crap, I don't know where it is, where you can go and record your own podcast. So he's doing that. Which is why he's doing loads of editing of loads of other podcasts and lots of other stuff. So he just doesn't have time for bloody vegans. So that's why he needed to give that over to someone else. And then, sorry about the dogs. And then, if this is what happens, you see, you invite musicians to come and live in your house and they bring all the dogs with them. So yeah, he just wanted, he said when he was thinking about someone to replace it, he thinks that, first of all, I will approach different people to him, which I agree. And I've just got to be very careful that I'm not just approaching sanctuary people, for a start. But I think he also thinks Sue knows quite a lot of people. He said that. He's like, you know loads of people. I'm like, I really don't know loads of people. I think there's this assumption that I know loads of people in there. And I suppose I do know quite a lot of people, but not as many as he thinks. So then I was a bit like, oh shit, we've got to find all these people to But it's going really well. I've got loads of. I'm so excited about some of the guests I've got lined up. I'm so excited. I'm interviewing someone tomorrow that I'm just going to be like the whole time. They are amazing. It'll be out by the time.
Can you
interviewing Professor?
I was about to say, can you let us know who it is?
Tomorrow, I'm interviewing Professor Andrew Knight, who is a vet who's leading the way as far as vegan diets for animals, plant-based diets for animals. He's incredible. My background, obviously veterinary medicine, so as an RVN for a long time. So for me to interview somebody that I hold that much, what's the word? I hold him in high esteem, I suppose you'd say. I just have a lot of, I just think he's brilliant. I can't get my words out. Hopefully I'll be a bit more coherent tomorrow, but it's so untrue. He's incredible. The work he's done is incredible. And yes, I'm really looking for that. But I'm also tomorrow interviewing David Pennell from Vegan Business Tribe.
I knew about this because David told me the other day that he was coming on to speak to you.
Mm-hmm. And I want David Pennell to come forward. I don't want to be interviewing Vegan Business Tribe. I want the real Dave, because we've had him recently on his podcast. We've had a little bit of him on his podcast recently, rather than the polished thing. So that's what I'm going to bring out tomorrow. So
that's what I want to hear, because I want to hear real David.
Yeah.
Also, David, I don't know if you listen to this. However, I want to hear real you, not over exaggerated happy David. I want to go deep.
I'll bring him down. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, tomorrow's great. And then I've got Lee Brace next weekend. Full chorus. I know which one I'm going to get. Should I tell you? Yeah. I want Lee. I said I want Lee.
By the time yours comes out, this will probably come out after.
Maybe you should have Dawn then. Oh, this will come after Lee. Oh, there you go then. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
So you've just got Lee as himself?
Yeah. I've told him to leave his teeth out. Yeah, I think he's doing such good work that I want to speak to him rather than the character. So yeah, that's yeah. And we
I feel like he's also he's really underrated.
Yeah.
Like, he's so underrated because he's hilarious. Like, his music videos, amazing. His comedy, amazing.
Oh my God.
And so underrated in the community.
Jeez. Honestly, you can't, he's just naturally so funny. I went out with him a couple of months ago. Me and Jen were down in London, and he's just so naturally funny and so sarcastic, and he was so rude to me all night. It was brilliant. That's not my kind of humour. He's such a great person, and he is so underrated. The work that he's doing, the outreach that he's doing, is absolutely incredible. So yeah, I think he's great. So yeah, that's exciting. And then I've got some other guests coming on, and I can't tell you about the one thing, but you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I've got some.
Wait. You can message me later.
Okay, I'll
message. Then I can't say it to anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really good. But yeah, I'm gonna.
That's all.
I can't say anything about it. Yeah, so it's all exciting. It's really exciting, and I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. And as much as clearly I like talking, I also love listening. I had Stuart Mitchell, Vigilante Vegan. I had him on a couple of weeks ago. And his story and the work he's doing out there, it's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So it's just such a privilege to sit and listen to people. You know, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Sharing stories and talking to people that have the same ethics as you. It's incredible. It's a privilege to do it. So thanks, Jim. Yeah, you never get any podcast back. I love it. I really love it. So yeah, it's really great.
It actually surprised me that you never actually had a podcast to begin with. Because I feel like this is something that's right up your alley, but obviously you had so many other things going on, whether that be pigeons and just no time that you could physically fit in like an hour or 2 hours to just chat.
I had an Instagram live that I've done for a couple of years called Waffle and Quack. And I do that with Lisa from Buckingham Palace, which is what it's called, Waffle and Quack. But that's, and we've interviewed some really interesting people. So that's just sanctuary people. And the premise of that is that we get pissed basically and just talk shit about running sanctuaries. But so that's kind of come to a bit of a natural conclusion in that she's really busy, I'm really busy. But now I'm going to allow a bit more time for that. That is becoming a podcast in its own right. but it's also going on to Radio Lumini, which is exciting. We've been asked to do a series for Radio Lumini, which is great. So that's going to be Waffle and Quack is going to go forward and do that. So so I will be doing more of this, which is it's great. But as you said, it's just finding the time for it, isn't it? So because on top of that, I'm helping someone edit a book at the moment on pigeon care in veterinary practice, a little bit, but bigger than that, I'm writing a book. I'm writing a series of books with another vegan avian bird sanctuary owner, and we're writing a series of books on how to care for wild birds, how to care for seagulls, how to care for pigeons. So I do all the editing. She gives me all the blurb, I do all the editing, and I add my own little bit of blurb. And also because her background isn't veterinary, I kind of add that in a little bit. And then I do the artwork for that and set it and get the books printed. So there's quite a lot going on there. So we're self-publishing that.
How do you care for a seagull? Because those things are vicious, angry, steal my food. I think they're like the world's most hated birds.
I think they are. Do you want a tip? Do you get gulls over there? What sort of gulls? Like black?
I don't have them over here, but when I was in Australia, they're smaller and cuter, but they're still scary. Unlike English ones that will swallow a chihuahua whole.
Yeah. So when you're in Britain, so seagulls are incredible, like all birds. They're absolutely incredible. And the incredible thing about seagulls is a little bit like corvids. They will recognise you, but they can also recognise human body language. So if you're sat there eating your vegan ice cream or your sarnie or whatever you're eating, and there are seagulls around, you just need to make sure you look at them like that, right in the face. Because if you're looking at them, they won't come for you. They will not come for you. Because ultimately
I'm going to try it next time I see one. However, if I get attacked by have you seen the size of seagulls in England these days? Like, so seagulls around the world seem to be quite small.
Yeah.
They seem to be, like around the world, everywhere else, they're so small, they're so tiny, they're a bit timid and cute. Australia, they're like this big. In England, they look like they've been to the gym and they're on steroids. Like, they are they're so scary. I would rather be face to face with an ostrich than I would a bunch of seagulls. Because they're just vicious.
Yeah. Beaks aren't that strong, and they don't have teeth. They can give you a nip, and if they go near your eyes, then you need to be worried. But other than that, I've been nipped by a seagull, and it's not the worst. It's not like a goose. It's not as bad as a goose or a duck bite. They really hurt. So, yeah, it's not that bad. But they are really big birds. And if they hit you when they're flying, then, yeah, they're going to knock you. They are big birds. But, yeah, next time you see them, be like, look at them. Really look at them. And then they won't steal your food. They're not daft. They're really intelligent. So, yeah. That's all you need.
How about, like, so do you know much about the, I was about to say, do you know much about, I'd say Australian magpies, the ones that actually swoop you for fun?
We talked about this last time.
We did. And it's like, I keep seeing videos and I was like, it's awful to say, like, they're just swooping anyone these days. Like, swooping season is such a big thing.
I love it so much.
Nobody seems to be able to, like, have this kind of control over it. Like, a piece of advice like that, where, like, you can stare them in the eyes and they won't do anything, great. But, like, for a swooping magpie that wants to kill you.
Yeah, but they don't. I mean, they do want to kill you. And I think that's it. I think if people stopped panicking about birds, which I know is easier, said than done. If you're scared of the flapping, Look, with a swooping, if you just stood there, they'll still swoop at you, but then it will lessen. They won't just constantly. It will lessen. But it is hard because they know exactly where to get you. They know where all your squishy bits are. So, yeah. I think they're great. I can think of a load of people I'd like to stick in the way of some swooping magpies. Like, right, go fuck with them idiots.
Yeah, because the magpies in England are so civilized. You can train them to bring you coins and watches and stuff. They steal for you. The ones in Australia, no.
No, yeah, they're a bit more. Yeah, they're a bit more rogue out there. British magpies are fine. They're just out there living their lives, aren't they? And people hate them though. They do hate them, which is a shame. So.
Yeah, I don't really mind birds, and like since I've met you, I seem to have like a love for pigeons now. And weirdly enough, I think a lot of people now have a love for pigeons after seeing you, because so the 2 episodes that you've been on are some of the most watched and also most commented, or in comparison to, like, you know, people coming on and giving nutrition advice and like really in-depth knowledge, you know, and then we got the pigeon lady.
I was taking. Oh God!
And
Look, we all.
yeah, I feel like you open people's eyes up to pigeons.
I think we deal with a lot of heavy shit as vegans, and as sanctuary owners, you are surrounded by death. You're surrounded by death. It's a regular thing when you own a sanctuary, and it's a bit that people don't realise is, you know, is euthanasia. This is one of my big things at the moment. Euthanasia is a treatment option. If you cannot look after the animals in your care, or an animal comes to you and you can't look after it because you don't have the funds or they are too injured, euthanasia is a treatment plan. And we are scared of it in this country. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, because I'm always in England, in Britain. But in this country, there is absolutely a fear of euthanasia. That, oh, you can't put anything to sleep. Well, no, we shouldn't be putting animals to sleep if we can help it. But if you can't look after the animals in your care, and the ones that are coming in you can't look after, euthanasia is an option. And as a sanctuary owner, you are faced with that all the time. So it can be really dark. And I've done it for an awfully long time. And I just think, there's that, and there's vegan outreach and trying to change people. But the rest of the time, you've got to have a laugh. Because if you don't, for a start, you go bonkers. And secondly, you're not going to be effective. And when you're dealing with that all the time, everything else doesn't matter. Like, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter. Do you know, like, why does anything else matter? If you are lucky enough to have food on your plate, if you're lucky enough to have a fucking plate, which I didn't have at one point. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just be happy with what you've got, and just appreciate what you've got. I think appreciation and gratitude are something that I've definitely had to learn, probably over about the last 20 years. And you really need to appreciate everything you've got in your life. Look what's going on in the world. So I come on here talking shit because why be serious all the time? It's my personality, I suppose. But yeah, there is so much work that we can do, but you can't always come at it with you know, just, you've got to be, there's a time to be professional, and also there's a time to be like, come on, we're all just people. Why are we all trying to be so ridiculous about this? We're all just people. Let's just have a normal conversation. So that's probably why people don't think I'm a bit of a dickhead. But it's also that, come on, like, I used to work in a very professional industry. I was a bereavement counsellor at my last practice. We were talking about really serious stuff that affects people's lives. But the rest of the time, we're just all people. We're all people, and we're all living the same life. Like, why be so serious about it? Oh, for fuck's sake. It's bonkers. So yeah, that's probably why I'm not coming on here with. I've got lots of serious stuff to say, but also.
You can say the serious stuff. That's fine. Like, yeah, no, I completely agree. Though I think like there's in the last, however so long, that I feel like the world has become more serious and more kind of like everybody's trying to tiptoe around things. Everybody's trying to be the best version of themselves, and they've kind of lost that kind of the fun part of them, the part that, you know. The imagination, the everything else that comes with it, just so people can just let loose and have fun. And people don't. People are so uptight these days. And there's been times when I've fallen into that trap because I've been like, oh, I need to be professional, and I've been like, oh, I need to be professional in this podcast, and then I've realised it's my podcast, so I can do what I want.
Yeah.
But like even in the grand scheme of things, like people are too worried about what people think of them.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah, it is absolutely spot on. I think you can be professional. If I go and see, I had a horrible accident and had to go and speak to surgeons at one point in my life, and I still had a laugh with them because they're going to fix my body. And I want them to be professional. Of course I do. I want them to be professional, but I also want them to be people. I want them to be human. Because, you know, and I remember sitting in the room, I was given on pain meds. I was in quite a lot of pain, but I was just like, okay, what are we going to do here then? And you can have a laugh with people and they can still be very professional. And I get that we've all got different personalities. I get that. And some people just aren't silly. And I totally get that. But equally, just be yourself. Like, and just appreciate the life that you've got and the body that you're in, because it could just all finish tomorrow. I could go out this afternoon and drive off a cliff, and like, I'm not intending to. Sorry, that went a bit dark. Like, by the way, this is the last podcast. I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, literally, you could have the sun glare in your eyes and be like, oh, look at the sun. And then, I live in Wales. It's easy to fall off a cliff out here. And that would be the end of Sue. So why worry? Like, you can't pay your debts, eat well, look after yourself, and look after other people. And other than that, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. None of it means anything. So I've laughed.
I do feel like, especially in the community we're in, like the vegan community, people take everything too seriously because there's a lot of emotion there for it to be taken seriously, and they want to be taken seriously with activism and stuff. And this is also why I think I appreciate Lee a lot more as a person, because he's not taking his activism seriously. However, it's effective. And this is the same how I feel about Jamie as well. That Jamie is full of humour, and I feel like that's more effective. Whereas some people are standing there and like really drilling in with information that probably isn't as effective because they're so serious about it. Yeah. Instead of meeting people where they are and realizing that everybody's actually a person, and we all have different opinions, we all have different things to do, and we just haven't got to a certain stage yet.
Yeah, we were all there once. That's exactly right. Like, I think it's a serious. What's happening to the animals is serious. There's no way of making that. They are the victims in this. That is serious. And when you think about it, it makes us weep. I mean, it's horrendous. I would swap my life with one of theirs if I could. But to get that point across, coming at it, shouting, there's just no point. Don't get me wrong, I have moments. I was swimming in the sea just before Christmas with Jen. We try and swim most days. And there were some horses being ridden down onto the beach. And we were a couple of minutes out. As in we were a couple of minutes swim-wise out. We were quite far out. And but we could see them being walked down. And then as we got closer in, we were swimming back in, we could see that somebody was pulling this horse with a rope around the bit, trying to pull this horse into the sea. And we were talking to this woman as we were swimming, and this other woman, and we were like, Jen looked at me and I looked at her, and we were like, we got to say something about this, like, what's going on? And I just swam. Just the anger of seeing this horse, like every muscle in that horse when you got close enough, you could see how stressed the horse was. Like the ears were back, like everything, every muscle in that horse was screaming, and nobody was actually looking at the horse. Nobody was caring what the horse wanted or didn't want to do. And for some reason, they were trying to get her into the sea. I absolutely lost my shit. Compared to how I was 2 years ago, I am quite fat and unfit. Nobody really wants to see a fat woman swimming up and coming out and shouting at them in a tiny little bathing suit. But that's what happened, and I absolutely lost my shit, and I really shouted. I didn't shout by the horse, but I was sorry, because I've started doing that, the dog started barking. I just was like, what are you doing? Look at your horse, what are you doing? And she said, oh, the vet's told us we've got to bathe her foot because she's got an injury, and we've got to bathe it. And I was like, right, well, first of all, this sea's got loads of shit in it. You don't want to be bathing a wound in the sea. And secondly, you could do that at home with a bucket. And she said, oh no, the vet said it'd be much better to do that in the sea. And it was a beautiful day, and I just went, no, I know what's going on here. You got up this morning and thought, wouldn't it be nice to take the horses on the beach for a ride? There's nothing to do with the horse's injury. Why would you assume that horse is going to be better off being ridden, having a human being on their back when they've got an injury on their leg, and then dragged into the sea? That is not going to make any wound any better. And I absolutely lost my shit. So sometimes you do get really, really angry. 10 minutes later then, I was laughing my head off, so I was like, what a bellend. What was I doing? I made such a spectacle of myself. But I would do it again. And what happened was the woman, she was really, really rude, which, fair enough, I was having a go at her. And they rode off. And they've never been seen on that beach since, because I know the people who swim there regularly. And I just hope she goes home and thinks about it. I really do. And that's all you can do. So there are definitely times when you need to be serious. And there are definitely times when, like, because I'm either happy or angry. I don't have an in-between. Literally, that's me. So there are times when I think you need to be direct and you need to take direct steps. But like Lee and Jamie and a few other activists, there's also a time just for looking at what's in front of you, those people. They're not going to change by you having a go. I had to have a go at the woman on the horse because the horse was in distress. But would I have just walked up to someone else and started shouting at them about, you shouldn't be riding a horse or you shouldn't be doing... No, because they're just going to tell you to F off. Or think you're crazy. So if there's someone in front of you, like an animal in front of you that's suffering, then yeah, fine. But other than that, I think you do have to come at it with a little bit of humility because they're not going to change otherwise. And that's what I'm trying to do with the pigeon stuff, is just explaining, educate people, rather than shout at people.
Apart from the few people that you did shout at and calling them dildos or whatever else you were calling them.
No, they deserved it. No, hang on. We're talking about people that don't deserve it. People that deserve it, they deserve it. Oh, God. So I might have upset the apple cart a bit. I didn't know who this person was. Loads of people have been sending me a video recently of a goose being manhandled by this sanctuary in England, and saying, "Oh, come on, we need you to get involved." And I was like, "Why? I deal with like I'm pigeons. Why do I need to get involved with this goose?" And then I saw the video last night, lost my shit, and did a video about it. And I've tagged Sanctuary without knowing anything about them. And it turns out it's someone called Jodie Marsh, who used to be a page 3 model. She's got a sanctuary, apparently.
Oh, yeah, Jodie Marsh. She's from where I live.
Is she?
Yeah.
Well, can you go and kick her in the fanny? Because she's awful. So apparently she's vegan, and but she's not acting like a vegan. And she's got this sanctuary which looks more like a petting zoo to me. So I've waded in like I do, what's going on here? And had loads of people overnight going, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that because now she'll come for you." I'm like, "Oh, come for me? How are you going to come for me? What are you going to do? Throw jelly at my window? I mean, come on, like get a grip. We're adults." So yeah, I'm not. If someone comes into my space or somebody's doing something in front of me like that, I'm gonna have them. But other than that, I need a new confrontation.
Yeah. So I know much about. I don't know too much about Jodie apart from she was a page 3 model at one point, and then she turned into like a bodybuilder for a bit, and then I think went vegan and then started a sanctuary. But I don't know too much else about her apart from she's, I think, also had a quite controversial past as well.
I mean, aren't we all? But
yeah, I'm actually surprised because you don't. There's not been much controversy with you this time, whereas normally there's something going on. It's either the Daily Mail, or it's the King, or it's somebody. And this time it's a completely normal conversation, and I'm kind of I'm waiting for something to happen to you.
That's probably what's going to happen now. Then it'll be like next week. No, it's all positive. It's all really good stuff. I've got a bit of time away from it. Create my new drama. It's I am working with. I'm so lucky. I'm working with Shakira Free. Do you know Shakira Free, the animals, at the moment, and we're putting together the National Pigeon Advocacy Conference. So that's taking up so much of my time at the moment. So much of my time, can't even tell you how much of my time it's taking up. So that's really exciting.
What is going to happen at a pigeon conference?
It is an event where anybody who's involved in rehabbing pigeons, or rehabilitation, or has a pigeon sanctuary or a bird sanctuary, or just a member of the public who just loves pigeons, or somebody wants to get behind the pigeon ban that we're putting forward, they can come, they can do some shopping, they can go to some talks. It's educational, be a lot of educational talks. Kevin Newell's coming to give a talk from Humane Wildlife Solutions. We've got a panel discussion about pigeons in captivity, how you can keep them entertained, basically, enrichment. We've got someone coming from the abroad to do a talk, and she's an amazing pigeon lady, so that's incredible. So, and we're going to do these talks are going to be zoomed out all over the world as well. We've had people from America and Norway, and I'm just trying to think of who's the last 2 days got in touch. Just loads of people getting in touch and saying we would love to be a part of this, but obviously it's going to be in the UK. We can't get there, so can we buy a ticket and it can be zoomed out to us instead? So it's really exciting. Got lots of interest already. So the idea, I don't know how big it's going to be. We don't know where it's going to be held or when it's going to be yet, because it's never been done. So I wanted to get an idea of who's going to be interested first. But looking at how it's been over the last literally 36 hours now since we released it, we've had loads of registrations come through on the website. So I think it's going to be quite big. So it's either going to be me and Shakira and 50 people or 1,000 people. It might be more, but I doubt it. I think for the first year, we probably need to go quite small because I'm seeing this as an annual event. And I'm also talking to someone in the States who wants to see how it goes here. And then they want to work with me with getting it an advocacy conference for pigeons over there as well. So yeah, it could be a really big thing, which I'm really excited about.
Who knew that the pigeon world was this big? Who knew that people cared this much about pigeons? So, when I first met you, I thought it was only you that cared about pigeons. Apparently, there's enough of you. There's physically enough of you to hold a conference and maybe a conference in the States.
I don't think she would. Yeah. I don't think she would mind me saying. I'm going to say it, and I don't think she'll mind. When I started talking to Shakira about this, Shakira is an RVN like I used to be in veterinary practice, which is so much better than I used to be. She's amazing. She is just her activism, her vegan activism is incredible, and a little bit like Professor Andrew Knight, she's working from within that industry. So she's trying to change people's perception of animals and of veterinary medicine from within the industry, but also, along with her full-time job, she also rehabilitates and rescues so much wildlife, gets them the appropriate veterinary care, and she's working on the XL bully ban and all this stuff. I don't know how she gets the time. She and her have 24 hours in a day, and I don't know how she does it because I struggle to fit everything in the 24 hours. How she does what she does is, I don't know. So we started sort of talking about working together and doing some things because we've got quite a lot in common. And we both, at the same time, the same day, messaged each other on WhatsApp, and I said to her, Shakira, I'm thinking of would you get involved with this? I'm thinking of doing some kind of event for pigeons. I shit you not, that afternoon, she, without me seeing the message, at about the same time, she had WhatsApped me and said, I've had a thought, could we have some kind of educational conference for pigeons? I opened her message and was like, you are not going to believe it. And she did the same then. It was incredible that we'd both been having these conversations. But the difference is Shakira is veterinary and wildlife led, and has only really about 6 months ago started getting into looking after pigeons, which is how we've really got chatting. We've known each other for a while, a year or so, and been to each other's talks and stuff, but only just recently started talking about pigeons. And she didn't realise how many people rehab pigeons in this country. So when we started talking about this event, she said, oh, well, what would there be? Maybe 100 people, 150 people? I was like, are you mad? I know 150 people like that look after pigeons that I talk to on a weekly basis. We're talking about thousands of people. And she kind of went, fuck off. I was like, no, there are thousands of people that are involved in this country alone with looking after pigeons. And, I know Happy Feet, there's a group in Glasgow called Happy Feet who are doing incredible work. Amanda Sykes and her team. And they go out looking after the stringfoot and all the pigeons just in that city. There are 500 people in that group. That's one group. They're everywhere. So there's so many people that care about them. So yeah, I can see this being a big event going forward. Maybe not this year's because we're going to have to trial everything this year, but I'd like to think that we can have a couple of thousand people getting together next year. And part of that is because I'm setting up a network of rehabilitators throughout the country, pigeon people throughout the country. So it'll all kind of tie in with that. I've got this fundraising thing going on called Harper's Fund to pay for all those people. So there's a lot. Did you see how serious I've gone now? This is my serious professional face.
Yeah, look at you. Just you're getting all serious in your blazer.
Yeah, that's because I've got dinner lady arms because I've not been in the gym for 6 months, so I've got to have a blazer on. 6 months of gym work again. I won't have a blazer on. Look at this. It's fun. It's exciting. It's all exciting.
It is exciting, and so in my head, I just imagined a large-scale pigeon party previously,
basically.
But it's definitely not that.
No, Yeah, last time when you came over for my pigeon buddy, there were actual pigeons. We won't have pigeons there. But I am thinking that we need some kind of pigeon dress or pigeon costume. Have you seen that? I can't remember the name of the Instagram account. There's an account where there's this really leggy woman who wears bright pink, like latex leggings and really bright pink high heels and a white pigeon costume on the top. And she goes around handing out bread to people and saying, "Don't feed bread to pigeons, feed it to humans." Like, oh, she's amazing. I haven't got the legs to pull that off. But pigeons have only got little legs and they've got big trousers, so we'll be all right. She's more like a goose and a white pigeon, but I could be like a British pigeon. So yeah, I'm thinking pigeon costume. That's what I need. They'd know it was me though, wouldn't they? I'd still be doing my horrific laugh from inside the costume. Oh God. No, well, maybe you should come and do a talk dressed as a pigeon.
A talk on what? Like
It's food. You can be a pigeon nutritionist. Come on, Callum.
pigeon nutritionist.
Yeah.
That's my new calling in life. People are too much. It's all about pigeons now. Like,
they're very complex. They're very complex little creatures, so they need a pigeon nutritionist.
Are they more complex to feed than a human though, that only eats peas and eats bananas?
I've stepped up my game now. Sometimes when I'm having a bowl of peas, you'll love this, I put sweet corn in. And also, my new favourite thing is mango chutney, so sometimes I have mango chutney on it.
Mango chutney and peas?
Yeah. Oh, it's the best. Don't look at me like that. You haven't tried it. Mango chutney and peas. That's where you're going wrong in your life. If you're not
okay. So next time I am back in the UK.
Great.
Next time I'm back in the UK, I will come to Wales, and you can make me your peas and sweet corn and mango chutney.
It's the best.
And I will see how good this tastes, because I can only assume it just tastes like mango chutney.
You don't have mango chutney, Molly.
I assume you probably can find it, but like you can't find a lot of things, like your average things that you might want on a day-to-day basis. So I kind of have to do with what I have.
Yeah.
However, I have an abundance of tofu and tempeh, so I'm fine. I can't find seitan. That makes me sad. And vegetables and fruit, great. Like, they're very cheap. However, there's some vegetables I just can't get.
Oh, really?
And sometimes I just want some comfort food. They grow everywhere.
Oh.
However, also, no Balinese home has an oven, so I can't even make comfort food like a lentil shepherd's pie or something like that, because I can't stick it in the oven.
They don't have an oven. Why is that? That's weird.
No, they don't. It's really just things like hobs and stuff like that. Some places have ovens, but
I'm saying that I don't think I've used an oven for years. But yeah, well, we've got one of those little tower ovens, so we do use that for the odd pie. I am partial to pie. But yeah, everything else we do not.
Yeah, things I miss is basically air fryers, ovens, and the availability of some foods. Apart from that, party's great. It's had some great opportunities. I've ended up speaking here quite a lot for some reason.
It's been brilliant. I've loved seeing it. Yeah. So you're saying I look professional. You look really professional the other week when you were out doing that talk.
Oh,
no shoes on.
I had to look professional. Like, everybody was asking me these really in-depth nutrition questions, and like I think I made a post about this a few weeks back, that like when I was answering questions like 4 years ago, people were just kind of wondering whether, like, if you drink Diet Coke eating chips, will it cancel the calories out? Now people have really in-depth questions.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, everybody seems to have some sort of nutrition knowledge, whether or not it's like misinformation or not.
Yeah.
But people seem to be looking after their health a bit more. And so people are asking like these really in-depth questions, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know the answer to this one, because it's out of my training.
Yeah.
Like, and especially over here as well, because like I think any kind of westernized person that's over here is looking to become healthy or look after themselves.
I really.
So yeah, but like not so much Canggu down the road, which is like party. Like where I am, it's very like spiritual. It's very whole foods, plant-based foods. There's raw vegan restaurants. There's like a load of yoga, spirituality, everything. Everybody's ice baths, the gym, whatever. Everybody's having, all the woo woo. Everybody's having early mornings and the early mornings and early nights. Everybody's just looking after themselves here. So everybody's a bit more nutritionally inclined to know things. However, that's when misinformation comes along, because then there's a lot of like raw vegan over here, and raw vegan are like, we have to cut out grains, but we eat everything raw, or it's kind of raised to a certain temperature, but still considered raw. And I'm like, that like some people do thrive on it, but some people thrive on a carnivore diet. Is anecdotal evidence.
It is anecdotal, and I think that's it. They're just cutting out the crap, aren't they? With carnivore, we haven't seen enough of it yet.
And I'm not against people doing raw vegan as long as they're eating some cooked food as well. Like, but I don't think from like everything that I've read that is, it's healthy to be doing this long term, because sometimes we need to cook things to get nutrients out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because vegetables and the plants that we are eating have changed, haven't they? If we went back a couple of thousand years, the potato, like everything, there weren't even cabbages. Well, the cabbages are like a man-made vegetable. Like,
have you seen what a carrot used to look like? Carrots, like 1,000 years ago, looked fucked.
Yeah, they did look a bit weird. I know. Can you imagine? Like, I've done this lovely carrot salad. You'd be like, you're mental. That's not carrot. They did, yeah.
Yeah. It looked like a mouldy finger.
They did what?
It looked like a mouldy finger, like a carrot from 1,000 years ago. It looks like it's like someone's tried to cremate a person, and they've just had a finger left over and it's charred. That's what a 1,000-year-old carrot looks like.
Can you imagine? That's brilliant. Oh no! I mean, this is it. And the food's changed. We've got to change with it. You've got to cook certain stuff, haven't you? And also, don't make yourself.
Yeah, I don't think like throwing.
Great.
Yeah, I love a jacket potato. You can't just be eating. You can't eat potatoes raw. Well, you can, but no one wants to because it's disgusting.
Surely that will do you no favours eating a raw potato. I mean, sweet potato is slightly different, but I mean, I'll eat that raw. But like a Jersey boil, you don't want to be eating that raw. No.
Yeah, like I feel like I do need to have like a raw vegan come on to really explain things to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of like hearsay, and there's a lot of misinformation.
Maybe,
but also that's how I also feel about fruitarians. Like that's another real polarizing thing of people just living on fruit.
Well, I've got a fructose intolerance, so can you imagine? I mean, I'd be dead. I'd blow up.
Yeah.
I'd literally blow up. What's happened to say? Oh, she farted so loud, she just flew. Like some beach ball. Oh my god. Sorry. I wasn't guessing on Newport Beach. Oh, that's Sue. Oh, she's been on the fruit. Yeah. Well, this is it. Everyone's got slightly different things, haven't they? But come on. Just eat a potato. But
there's a strange culture over here of people that are breatharians as well, and I'm like, come on, guys, like we need to stop. Like I can get behind raw vegan, I can get behind ish fruitarian, but a breatharian, stop. Like we're not plants. We're not photosynthesized.
No. And what I don't understand about that is that we've only got, you know this more than anybody, We've only got one body. This is our vessel that gets us through the world. You've got to give it the nutrients it needs. And if you don't, then you're just disrespecting your life. Like, it's just disrespect, I think, to yourself and just to the gift that you were given when, you are alive, which is, as a species and as a planet, it was such a tiny amount of luck that created that we are here at the moment doing this. You've got to look after it. This is the only body you've got. And if you're not giving it nutrients, it's not about calorie restriction or any of that. It's about nutrients. If you're not giving yourself the nutrients you need to go through life, then you're going to, just think more of yourself.
Welcome to Sue's Nutrition TED Talk.
Eat some peas and potatoes. Oh, God, you taught me loads.
Just eat your veg. Yeah.
You taught me loads about it, though, when I did a plan with you. Loads. I learnt that you make me eat bananas, and they make me gag. I learnt that chia seeds like cum. It's all rank. All that stuff. Leave all that behind and just eat the peas. It's fine. No, I did.
If that doesn't sell a plan, I don't know what does.
Poster. You like to gag?
I will make an Instagram carousel of that. Just eat your peas, and the rest that comes with it.
Oh, you had me eating some weird stuff. It was great. Jen,
I had you eating things that were normal to every other person, and then things that you'd never thought of.
Yeah, there's nothing normal about soaking chia seeds. That's not normal.
Okay, but you did enjoy peas on toast.
Peas on toast is the best thing. Peas on toast. Peas, Marmite on toast with a bit of banana and peas on top. That's good. And a bit of mango chutney.
I'm not going to put that in anyone else's plan. That's vile. What you just said. Like all those things separately, amazing.
No,
but bread, Marmite, banana, peas, mango chutney.
Homemade bread, big chunky made bread, loads of mango chutney, and then some peas and some banana. Try it. I promise you.
You are broken.
No, it's so good. Mash the peas up. Honestly, it's so good. You know I hate banana, but with Marmite and peas and mango chutney, it's the best. The mango chutney is a new addition. It used to just be Marmite, banana and peas.
I don't understand what made you choose that concoction.
Not having any money and having bread, peas, mango chutney, and a banana and going, let me make a delicious meal out of this. Oh, we've been so broke. And we've had this really basically our local mates bailing us out for the last. We're all right now. We're getting back. We're in a house and we're getting back. We can just about afford shopping now. But yeah, this time last year there was no food. There was just no food in the house. So yeah, sometimes you're just like, what have we got? We're like, we've got peas and we've got a banana. So yeah, but now I've discovered it. It's the best thing ever.
Fine. I will try it at one point. I will try it.
I want you to try it. I want you to put it on the gram and I'll look at it and be like, yeah, it's the right thing.
Fine.
It's the right thing to do.
I don't know if I can sell that to people on a plan. I think if I did that, I would lose business.
So Jen makes the best salads you have ever tasted. We call her professional name is Vegan Queen V, and we call her Salad Queen in this house because she just makes. Oh my god! I love her salad so much. She wakes up at work and she'll make a salad in the day while she's working here doing music or whatever, and then she'll whatever because if she does anything else, you know what I mean. She'll send me a picture of a bowl of salad and she's like, "This is dinner." And I'm not that food motivated normally. But then she shows me that and I'm like, oh my God. She puts everything in them. They're incredible. And she chops everything up really small and puts these amazing dressings on. They're absolutely fantastic. And I've totally forgotten the reason I was saying, oh yeah. So there was some conversation. My partner runs his manager at a cafe, a restaurant in Cardigan. And they jokingly said, oh, we should open up our own. And it ended up being, they couldn't decide what they would do. It was just some conversation at night. And they decided they'd call it Slash. Because they were like, we're going to have a coffee and salad. And they were like, oh, we'll have to have coffee / salad. So this Slash place is going to happen. And it's not really going to happen. But then, obviously, I'm saying, well, what you need is, I'm putting all these pea recipes in it as well. So that could be next year's thing. And then we'll have to get you down. It'll all be about peas, pea on toast, pea pizza, pea soup. That'll be my little bit. It's going to be great. No cheese.
Yeah. I would come down for that. There's things I would come down for. That is one of them. Also, the other ones are the nice little events that you seem to be going to in London these days, because apparently you're now a Londoner.
I've only been there 3 times, but that's a lot
in a year. In 1 year,
in 1 year,
comparison to the rest of your life.
Never been before, and then I've been 3 times. Oh, it's a shithole. I hate that place. Yeah. It has to be something pretty good for me to come to London. There was conversation about holding this event in London, and I just went, no. Just no, it's not. It's not. I'm not going to
London's not that bad. It's hectic. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people.
Yeah. I live in Pembrokeshire. It's different people, isn't it?
But yeah, in comparison to every where you've been living, it's probably it's kind of like when I went to go work on a farm for 3 months and then I saw a city again and I was like, whoa, I got vertigo looking up at a building because there was nothing for 3 months. There was nothing higher than 1 story.
Yeah, that is a real thing that happens here. Yeah, I find that every time I drive to England now, which isn't that often. I think I've been back to England, including the twice I went to London. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 times in the last 2.5 years, maybe 9 times. And now when I leave Pembs and I leave the hills and I start going into England, it is like, what is this? There's cars and there's people and they don't give you the right of way. And it's so totally different. It's totally different. You need to come out here. You'd love it out here. We look where we are now. We're so lucky. Like the window I'm looking out there, you're looking at the Preseli Hills that way. And then you look the other way and you've got the coast. It's incredible. Very, very lucky that the Pigeons have brought us out here. Very lucky.
The Pigeons brought you out here. No longer Pigeons.
No Pigeons. But I'm not going back. And loads of vegans here. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing for vegans. It's fantastic.
Which is surprising because you don't really assume that when you look at, Wales as a whole.
Oh, but don't get me wrong, there's loads of dairy and animal farmers as well. Like, you are surrounded by it. The drive to work every morning for me, I go past a farm and then you have to go to and every morning you're seeing cattle being shoved onto trailers. It's all around us. That is the downside. But there are so many vegans out here as well. And so there's loads of vegan restaurants and all sorts. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm really lucky to be out here. Really, really lucky.
Yeah, when I finally come back to the UK again, over Christmas period, it was kind of null and void. But it won't be Christmas next time, so I will come and spend some time in Wales.
Yeah, come out to Pembs. We've got a spare room now. Come out to Pembs when Jen's not in it. Yeah, you'll love it out here.
Yeah, I feel like Jen's such a nice house for a musician, such a nice house guest because normally rock and roll, smashing up stuff and whereas she's so chill.
She's very chill. Well, that's kind of her vibe. This whole house when she's here smells of, I don't know what they are that she burns. I had to get out of bed the other night because I thought the house was on fire. Like, what is that? And she was burning some shit in her room. She's so woo woo. Like her room, so it's like her room / my son's room. They kind of share it, and it's quite a big room. you can hear, her room, yeah, it's just full of woo-woo stuff. And she's always trying to make me woo-woo. But it's beautiful. She's a beautiful soul.
And I think you're getting there as well. I think you're slowly getting there.
No.
I see it happening. I think you are.
I don't think I'll ever be woo-woo. I'm too.
No, I don't see you like, you know, sitting there manifesting and like, you know,
well,
anything else like that. I think you're starting to believe it.
No, but you say that when we were moving here. Basically we were given a house to live in, which we were super grateful for, because we were basically homeless again. And somebody, we did rent it, we paid for it, but basically we were struggling to find anywhere to rent with the dogs, and we still had all the pigeon stuff and everything. And we moved into that house, and we knew they'd want that house back at some point, and that point kind of happened in December. And I went on to Rightmove, and was just like, I need to find somewhere. I opened up Rightmove, and this house was on there. And I thought, that's the house. That's the house we need to move to. And we could afford it. And I was like, why can we afford that? It's a really nice house. Why can we afford it? And everything was telling me that that's where I needed to live. So from that point of view, I feel like, anyway, so then I fought for it, and in the end we got it. And then there are a few other things have happened. And I remember saying to the group of friends out, I was like, if I don't get that house, I'm going to have a right fucking time. Like, you're going to see I'm going to spiral. We want to live in that house. And it's amazing. But then a few other things happened as well. And Jen was like, you do realise you manifested that house. It's like, there's a couple of things where I've gone, when we're moving, like, what I really need is a screwdriver. And then I've turned around and I'm like, oh, there's a screwdriver. It's not even mine. So now they're calling me the Queen of Manifest, because it seems to just be like, I need a thing. And it happens. And we're not talking about a little bit like Jen's whole thing. And it's not about to benefit you, is it? It's not, you wouldn't try and manifest money or anything like that. But to manifest like the things you need to help you function and do your job, then yeah, apparently I'm really good at that.
I'm going to turn the whole trailer into making it sound like you're now into spirituality.
Oh my God.
Got rid of pigeons. Now in the spiritual side. You got your shaman. You got your crystals.
No, there are not going to be any crystals. No, I'm happy with the women. They call them yogurt weavers out here.
Yogurt weavers?
Mm-hmm. That's what the locals, not necessarily Welsh, but people that are local, that's what they call vegans, which is a bit of an odd one for vegans. I think they don't realise we don't eat normal yogurt, like dairy yogurt. Yeah, they call like someone like Jen is known as a yogurt weaver. So somebody that's a bit spiritual and manifests stuff and swims in the sea and does all that kind of caper. They call them yogurt weavers.
So everything that you're doing at the moment, swimming in the sea, manifesting stuff.
I'm not manifesting. I'm just leaving shit lying around and then finding it. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But there's no crystals. There's none of that bollocks going on. I'm not doing it.
I'm gonna give it another year, and you'll believe it.
All right, yeah. In a year's time, we'll come back, and I'll be like, I'll be sat like this. No, I won't. I did actually put out a little Q&A for you the other day. You never.
To see if there was any. Yeah. To see if there's anything that people actually had questions for you, and there was. The first one was, where is it gone? Oh yeah, why was it pigeons in the first place? What drew you to pigeons?
I manifested them. I didn't want to look after pigeons. I was looking after garden birds. And the nurse at the veterinary practice I worked at, where I was looking after the garden birds, she looked after all the pigeons and she left. And the day she handed in a notice, I was like, Nikki, you can't leave, because that means I've got to look after them. And she went, yeah, you'll love them. And I was like, what? They're so different to garden birds. And I was like, great with garden birds. So they got forced upon me. And the first one I looked after, I was just like, oh, baby pigeon, why didn't I know this? They're just the best. So yeah, they found me. They found me.
Love that. Next was, where is it gone? You're a podcaster now. What are your dream guests, or who are your dream guests?
Oh, I don't know.
Apart from me, because you've already had me.
Really?
So.
I had Vegan Veer. He was a dream. That was great. I don't think I've got any. I think the problem with me is I don't know. I just like talking to people. My dream guest wouldn't be one particular person. It would be somebody that's got somebody that's doing inspiring things. And there's so many of them that I don't know that I've got a dream guest. I don't think I have. I genuinely don't think I have. That's a shit answer, isn't it? I don't think I've got. I genuinely can't think of anybody. Also, I can never think of names, but no, I can't think of anybody. Like I said, I'm really excited about having Andrew Knight on tomorrow. I've got Robbie Lockie coming on. I've got some people that are doing really good stuff that I really respect. I'd love to have Jamie Logan on. And I've got I'm talking to Mel and Tash Peterson at the moment. We're going to do something together. So they are brilliant. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, honestly, I know this is a really shit answer. I don't think I've got a dream guest. I don't think I have. I think if I could magic up someone, I don't think I would. And also, I've got the rest of my life to interview people. So why limit yourself to like?
Yeah, now that you're a big time podcaster, you know.
It's fine. I don't know. Oh, do you know what? I could say this actually. My dream guest would be somebody like Piers Morgan, just so I could abuse him for an hour. Although I don't think he'd stay. But yeah, that'd be a dream guest. Not somebody that's vegan that's talking about themselves. Maybe get someone like that and be like, why are you such a wanker, Piers Morgan? And see what he comes out. I don't know. That's really bad. I haven't got an answer for that one. I haven't got a dream guest. Other than you.
And the last one was no more pigeons. What's next for Sue?
Everything. Pigeon activism. That's what's next. Well, yeah, so we talked about that. The first thing I did when the pigeons went, the very first thing was we launched something called Harper's Fund, which Harper was a pigeon that was really special to us, who died during that virus last year, and I thought it was going to break Matt. Like, genuinely thought it was going to break him. The whole situation, but then her dying. So she's now buried in the garden here because we're going to be here for a long time, hopefully. We've set up a fund in her name, and that is so we can get hundreds of rehabbers in the country working as a network, and we will fund them going forward. That's what we will do. We'll fundraise, and we will be able to pay their vet bills, pay their food bills, pay their medical bills for the birds that they're looking after, Harper's Fund. So that was the first thing that we did. So if that's all I get achieved now, then I'll be happy with that. It's a big thing. It's going to take, with the forecast is like 10 years, basically, to get it up and running. It's a huge thing to do. But if I can get that done, I'll be well happy. Really happy. So, and I'll do lots of other stuff as well at the same time.
Really?
But if I can get that one thing done, then that's me.
That's amazing. So, it's been a pleasure as always. Where can we find you? I mean, it's going to be the same links as we have on the other two episodes.
Sorry, I just don't relate you. Thank you. You can find Little Green Pigeon is the community interest company that I run. You can find that on the website, www.littlegreenpigeon.co.uk. You can find me on Instagram, Little Green Pigeon, Sue the Pigeon Lady, and you can also find that's on Instagram as well. That's my account, and you can also look for the National Pigeon Advocacy Conference on Instagram as well if you want to know more about that. That's it, really. I'm only really on it. I'm on TikTok as well, but I don't do a lot on there. That's it. And generally, you can
Yeah,
find
because
me
I
where
feel like
you're-
with TikTok, it was purely pigeon content, and now with zero pigeons, you can't really make pigeon content anymore.
Well, I'm working with quite a lot of other rehabbers and sanctuaries now, so I share a lot of their stuff. And now I've got people sending me, because we've got about 20,000 followers now over the lot. So we're getting people actually sending me videos going, oh, could you share this? And I'm like, yeah, it's really cute, let's share it. So yeah, so I'm still TikToking, just not as much. It's all good.
Amazing. Sue, thank you so much. I'm guessing we'll see you in the next quarter, because I assume you're going to be my quarterly guest.
Yeah, that'd be good. Sorry about all the editing you're going to have to do to get all the swear words out.
Oh, that's staying in.
Yay!